you can rush me along a bit if you think I'm going a bit slow.
No, you just go. You just go. I'm more than happy to have it as long or as short as you'd like. Honestly,
Okay.
I think you'll be amazed how many people will be interested in this.
Not sure. Not sure.
Hi, I'm here with Simon Halliday, master in charge, or former, should I say, former master in charge of cricket at Harrow School for 18 years, current league player and over 60 Suffolk player, and of course, formerly my master in charge of cricket. Simon, how you doing?
Very well, thank you, Callum.
It's great to have you here with us, and it's a really true honour for me to have you. And as we've just discussed about, I feel like the pressure's on me today.
It's on me as well, don't worry.
So Simon, just tell us a little bit about your childhood in cricket and sort of growing up with cricket and how that came about.
Yeah, I think I was lucky in several senses. I think my dad played cricket, so I was brought up with the game. So I went to every match that he played and I would watch. I would play cricket with my brother while watching, and I would also then carry on to score for his team. And I think you learn a hell of a lot by scoring a cricket match. I think it's a massive education to score a match. You learn so much. And of course, I then played for his club. So that got me into cricket. I was also lucky in that I went to a state school, not a private school, but my state school used to be a grammar school, and grammar school still had that tradition of playing cricket. So although I was one of the early years of state school intake at this former grammar school, they still played their cricket. And I was lucky enough to play school cricket, even though I was at a state school, which again was a massive, massive help. So I think those early days, I was steeped in cricket from my father, from my school, and obviously every moment God gave, I would play after school in the park with my friends and just play as much as I could. I just loved the game really at that stage.
No, I like that. That's brilliant. It's great to see how that love's grown and another sort of father-son story going down and playing cricket. So just moving on a little bit from that into sort of your youth and your adult cricket, where did cricket take you? What was your journey like?
Well, interesting really. I obviously played, I was in Lincolnshire for my early youth and played for my school, and I heard there were county trials going on, and I basically went to ask my my school teacher if I could go. And he said, well, do you really want to go? I said, yeah, I'd love to go. He said, well, I think it's a waste of time. So anyway, to keep the peace, he basically said, okay, I'll tell them you're coming. And I got a friend of mine to go with me. And I went to the county trial, Lincolnshire, got into the under-15 team, played links under-15, links under-19 cricket for 5 years. And that got me into a higher level and gave me a bit of belief. And I think just pushing myself on that way was really good. Just wanted to go to the trial really and just compare myself with other people. I think I had a great mentor at my first club, which was my dad's club, Ruston Bucyrus in Lincolnshire, which was one of the eminent Lincolnshire League clubs at the time. And a guy called Harry Powder, who was a legend in minor county cricket in Lincolnshire, an absolute legend. He played for my club. He gave me my first pair of gloves. And these were the days when teams would share a cricket bag. They didn't have their own gear. So I was very privileged to play under him, and he gave me a lot of help and advice. So it's good to have a mentor, an early mentor, I think. I never really had a great master in charge at school because it was a state school. It was just really a PE lesson, cricket at my school. So to have the mentor of Harry Powder was really good. Then moved on to Suffolk when I was 20. My parents moved to Suffolk and I played league cricket in Suffolk for Sudbury mainly, a really good club, really central Suffolk. And just played league cricket. I was 26, 27. And being a teacher, I had to make the most of my school holidays because being a teacher at a private school, Harrow, I couldn't play cricket the first half of the season. I was involved with school cricket. So July and August had to be massive. So I played every day. So midweek, when it wasn't league games, I would play on cricket weeks all over the country. It was all day friendly cricket, as you know. A great way to learn because you've got time to build an innings. It's a long day, a long game. It's a time game, declaration cricket. And I learned a hell of a lot by playing those midweek games and basically playing probably out of a 60-day summer holiday, I would probably play 50 of those days. So my summer holiday was really traveling the country, playing all day cricket. And I got into the Suffolk team by playing all day cricket because one cricket week I played in was at Framingham College in Suffolk every year. The Suffolk captain at that time, Colin Rutherford, who was a legend of Suffolk cricket. He also played in that week. And he saw me year after year get runs in that week, admittedly on a good wicket. And after I got 100 or two, I think I was probably about 27 years old. So I wasn't thinking about playing county cricket. And he just said to me, you seem to get runs every time I see you. How do you want to go at playing minor county cricket? I said, I'd love to go. Because my club then were in Division 2. They weren't even in the top league, although I got runs for them. But he saw me play, and I don't think that would happen these days. I don't think these days minor county cricket, they like the pathways of junior cricket, second 11 cricket. It's all about youth. A club cricketer who's 27, 28 years old, it's rare, I think, these days to just step into minor county cricket, not having had the pathway in Suffolk junior cricket, although I had it in Lincolnshire junior cricket. So I got into the team in 1986, 74 on debut, and didn't look back really. And then I played for the next 11, 12 years and hardly missed a game for the county. Mm. And one of the great things was playing against the major counties, because in those days, a minor county could qualify for the 50-over competition. It can't happen these days. So Suffolk will qualify quite regularly. So I play against Northants, against Leicester, against Gloucestershire, against Essex and others. And you'd come up against Curtly Ambrose, and you'd come up against Derek Randall, and you'd come up against Richard Hadley, or some of the greats, and face them, and keep wicket to David Gower, and stuff like that. So that was unbelievably huge for me. And I just thought it was a fantastic thrill and a joy to play minor county cricket for that long. I was a journeyman minor county cricket. I kept wicket for Suffolk most of the time, opened the batting a lot of the time. I wouldn't say that I set the world alight, but I was good enough to keep my place, and thoroughly enjoyed every single minute of the whole thing, and learned a huge amount from playing under captains like Ray East. I don't know whether you've heard of Ray East, being such a young chap. No. He played for Essex for about 20 years, left arm spinner for Essex. And we picked up a lot of Essex players because Suffolk is next door to Essex. It's our major county. We're supposed to support Essex, but I never did. Playing under Ray East was just an education. Tactically, I took so much of that into coaching at Harrow. Field placing, how the pros place the field, what they do, what they tell the bowlers to do, how the bowlers think. It was a massive help to me in running Harrow cricket, to play for Suffolk for that long and play under such great players and with such great players. So even though minor county cricket is obviously very much amateur cricket in one sense, you do come across some fantastic performers, and you can take so much away and use it and learn so much. So I think all that was fantastic. So my pathway was a little bit odd in that it wasn't, although I played junior cricket for Lincolnshire, it wasn't Suffolk junior cricket, under 11s, under 12s, under 13s, and so on, and then into the major team. It wasn't like that in Suffolk. I was plucked from all-day cricket, really, friendly all-day cricket.
An amazing journey, I must admit, and to have played alongside those players and against those other players must have been a real highlight, I suppose, for you, and certainly highlights the merit of national counties cricket and the fact that it's not just relevant today, it's as relevant back when you were playing as well. And I don't know if you know it, Simon, there is now an initiative to play a first class county in a 50-over game. So every single national county will play a first class county in a 50-over fixture. I believe that's in place.
Wasn't aware of that. No, I wasn't aware of that at all.
Only just come back. It was set to start launch last year. So we were set to play, Bedfordshire was set to play Northamptonshire last year. And I think we're still set to play even this year, as long as COVID allows. So I think they are starting to rebuild it and realise the importance of actually the stronger your national counties comp, probably the better your first class comp is going to be too.
Yeah. And it's a massive, you imagine being an amateur cricketer, playing league cricket week in, week out, and suddenly you're at Trent Bridge facing Richard Hadley against Notts. And that was the year Notts won the county championship in 1987. And you're keeping wicket. David Gower's getting 99, and you're keeping wicket to that. You're getting a first-hand view of one of the greats, and you're playing against Graham Gooch and Nasser Hussain against Essex, and seeing these guys play. And if you play them at home, it was lovely to go to Trent Bridge, of course, and those places. But if you play them at home, we played Essex at home, and they imported stands at Bury St Edmunds, and we had about 10,000 people watching the match, and none of us had played in front of that sort of a crowd before, and it was just something else, really.
Yeah, no, it's certainly a really, really special days of cricket, aren't they? And I mean, just for you, Simon, I mean, obviously, you've got a massive amount of passion in cricket. You are hugely experienced in cricket. What do you see for the future of national counties cricket? Much of the same, or do you see it evolving?
Do you mean minor county cricket? What I call minor?
Yeah, we have to. It's been reassigned the name National Counties Cricket.
Oh, I see. I'm behind the times here. Yeah. Well, I would hope there's a hell of a lot of I should say national counties, not minor counties, but it's about half the country, isn't it? There must be more.
19. There's one more than first class counties, so there's 19.
Yeah. So there's got to be something there for those guys to aim at. I think it's fantastic on many levels. I think it's great for a guy who's playing club cricket and performing really well to have something to aim for. He's probably never going to be a professional cricketer, but he's got something to aim for that will give him tremendous pride. And to be selected for your county, whether it's Suffolk or Lancashire, I don't care, is an incredible day. Your whole family obviously are involved, and everyone's there watching you, and you know how you feel on those occasions. And I just think there's got to be something in those counties, Norfolks and Suffolks and Cumbrias and Northumberlands, Cornwall, for those guys. And it can be a stepping stone. It used to be a stepping stone for first-class counties. They used to keep an eye on the minor counties. We certainly had several players like Nadeem Shahid, who went to Essex from us, Phil Neal, Worcestershire, who was a Lincolnshire lad, and so on. Norman McVicker, who was a Lincolnshire lad who went to play for Warwickshire for many years. It was a stepping stone. So I think the major counties can certainly pick up, the professional counties, can pick up good players as well. We all had a pro, all the big counties had a pro, an ex-pro. We had Derek Randall for years, who of course played for England for many, many times, a tremendous character. We had Devon Malcolm, Roland Butcher, Bill Athy, but all England players. It's a stepping stone, and you get to play with these great players. So it's fantastic for people who live in those parts of the world who are never going to be professional cricketers, but it also can be a stepping stone for those who do have aspirations to go on.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Thanks so much for your take on the national counties cricket. It's a really poignant moment, I think, for national counties cricket at the moment, and valuable insight like that, I think, will go a long way. Just selfishly, because I've got you here, and someone that has managed cricket for over 40 years, what sort of advice? Well, first of all, what sort of advice would you have for young players wanting to play the game? But also, what sort of advice would you have for managers out there managing young cricketers?
I think for young players, I know from my own experience, just watching professionals play, watch some matches. Don't just go out and play. You've got to sit down and watch how the experts do it. Sitting down and watching Kane Williamson bat for a day, for example, for New Zealand or something like that, you learn far more than going out and having a net every day. Honestly, you've got to watch the pros. If you're a bowler, used to be watching people like Dennis Lilly. Nowadays, it's watching people like James Anderson, watching how they operate. If you're a keeper, you've got to watch Ben Folkes. It's the best around. You've got to watch the pros. You've got to spend some time seeing how it's done, and a lot of that will rub off. I think also you must start to read about the game, about the mental side of the game in particular. I think, to me, it's a mental game. A lot of people have got an equal amount of ability, technical ability, but the ones with the mental strength go on to reach the heights. And it's got to be the mental side of the game you've got to actually work on. It's not a matter of either having mental strength or not. You can actually learn to have mental strength as well. And I think that's really, really important. Um, I would say that you have to have a love for the game. If you can't sit down and watch cricket for an hour or two, every ball in a test match, I don't think you've got much of a future. You've got to be able to sit down and actually watch a game, admire defensive technique, admire someone leaving the ball, admire someone's cover drive, be able to admire every single aspect of the game. In terms of coaches, I think you've got to pass on to the kids a real love for the game. You've got to imbue that love. You've got to talk to them about your passion, your love, and hopefully a lot of that will rub off onto those kids. And so if you love the game, you'll keep coming back for more. Regardless of failure, you'll keep coming back for more. You just love playing cricket. I think that's really important. Again, going back to the mental side, I think as a coach, you've got to talk to the kids about the mental side, the boys and girls you're coaching all the time. What are you thinking? What should you be thinking? Should you be thinking anything at that time? What are you saying to yourself at the crease? You know, the mental side is so important, and you've got to talk to them about that. I think it's absolutely vital. I really wish coaches would select their best keeper, regardless of batting ability. I really do. I get really frustrated with watching poor wicket keepers now who are selected as keeper just because they can bat a bit, and your best keeper is sat twiddling his thumbs. Your best keeper will win more matches for you than a poor keeper who might get the odd 30 or 40. Honestly, he inspires the fielders around him, and he's got to be there. That's why I love Ben Folkes to play every game for England. I can't stand watching, worthy though they are, and they've worked on their keeping a lot. Bairstow and Butler are not, are going to make mistakes, especially standing up to spinners. They can stand back, of course, anyone can. But when you see Folkes operating, you realise how important it is that you have your best keeper there. And Folkes will score you the odd 100 anyway. And so pick your best keeper and encourage your best keeper. Otherwise, your best keepers will drift away because they're not selected, because they don't bat quite as well as the guy who might get the odd 40. They get the odd 20, so the odd 40 perhaps. I think the most important thing maybe is if it's working, don't change it. Don't tinker for the sake of tinkering. Too many coaches just love to tinker and change things and change it. Next week, they're doing something else. Haven't given the last instruction time to bed in, yet they're doing something else. Just because you're the coach doesn't mean you have to keep tinkering all the time with someone's technique. If it's working, leave it well alone. And that's why I love people like Jasprit Bumrah and people like Shivnarine Chanderpaul, who prove that there's more than one way to play this game. You don't have to be textbook. If you're doing something which isn't textbook, but it's working, leave well alone.
Yeah. No, I think that's, I think that is a real insight, isn't it? I suppose, and for a lot of our viewers, they probably won't know that you're arguably one of the most successful masters in charge of schoolboy cricket ever. And I'll happily stake my claim on that you are. And I know that firsthand you take very little accolade yourself, and often it will go to the players that you have overseen. But for me, it is a huge honour to have you here, Simon. And just to finish, before I let you go, because for those of you that know Simon well will know he doesn't always want the camera on him. Some quick fire questions for you, Simon. Okay. So, favourite ground?
Can I give more than one answer?
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of first class grounds, Taunton, but some of the club grounds I've played on, actually, I should mention Winchester and Tunbridge quickly, for fantastic school grounds, which I love. And in club cricket, Sudbury Cricket Club in Suffolk, you can't beat, in the middle of the town. And Bridgetown in Devon, a little village ground, which some people might know, on the banks of the River Exe. Unbelievable.
Brilliant. Favourite player?
Oh, God. In the modern day, Kane Williamson, without a doubt. He can play all types of game, whether it's 2020, he's still playing proper cricket shots, whether it's 2020, whatever he's playing, he'll play proper cricket shots. Yeah. Fantastic player. And Jasprit Bumrah, who I love. And Chanderpaul, back in the day, Derek Randall. and Dennis Amos.
No, I love that. And
I'm cheating a bit. I'm giving you more than one player.
So you're actually the second person to give Kane Williamson. His reasoning was he was also Northamptonshire player and a national counties player for Cornwall, and his reasoning was around how he conducted himself after that World Cup final.
Yeah,
that was
he's a top man. He's a top man.
Yeah, so I mean that's spreading. Favourite umpire?
Well, in minor county cricket, it was Keith Coburn, who was a legendary guy in Cambridgeshire.
Yeah,
quite old now.
Still involved.
Yeah, I'm sure you know him. He's a superb bloke, very funny, and he's a big not outer, which I like as well. Never gave me out. I think in the modern day, I think the umpiring standard is incredible. I think Menon had a fantastic series against England.
Okay, brilliant. Highest ever score?
That's 202 not out.
That's big.
But it was an all-day friendly, so I had plenty of time to bat.
Best place you've ever been for cricket?
Well, I think that's India and Sri Lanka. I'm getting 2 countries in one there. I'm taking Harrow to Sri Lanka twice and India twice. 4 of the great highlights of my cricketing experience. What places to go and what enthusiasm for cricket amongst people, on wonderful people as well, especially in Sri Lanka. Just incredible places. I know you came to India with us, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And you'll know, to travel that part of the world and just see the enthusiasm for cricket is incredible. To play in different circumstances and conditions, just wonderful.
No, brilliant. And so all of our specials, we finish with the same question. And the question is for you, Simon, is what is the single most important value or aspect, and it is a single aspect, of cricket for you?
I think that it's a fantastic sense of a test of character, a real test of character. It helps you to cope with failure. You know, you're playing cricket most of your life, you will fail more times than you succeed. And to keep bouncing back from more failure, it's a massive test of character. There's so many downs in your career where you do think briefly about, is it worth it? Especially when you're really young, when you endlessly field and don't get many runs. I just think it's an incredible test of character.
Yeah, brilliant. Simon, thanks so much for taking the time to speak with me, and it's been brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Callum.